Hello, welcome back to the stream. Today we are on Le Mans Ultimate once again. Little change of plans for today. Quite last minute today. There was a little race organised, a little 2.4 hour of Le Mans. So I thought, why not? Yeah, should be a good fun race this one. Looking forward to this. Um, welcome. If you remember back to the Spa 100 we did a couple of weeks ago, where we were fighting Bailey, Jimmy a little bit too. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for again. 2.4 hours of them on. It's a lot more standard settings, it must be said. But yeah, going to be hopefully going to be an interesting one. This. We are getting ready for qualifying here. I have no idea how this race is going to turn out, in all honesty. There is quite a big field, 56 cars in total. I think a couple of people are having issues getting in. But, yeah, here we go. For quali, yeah, short qualifying, only 10 minutes long, so we'll only get a couple of flying laps. As the green light comes on at the end of pit lane. Not going to push too hard on the outlap, as we do have cool tyres. And we don't want to wear these soft tyres anymore, or we don't want to put too much temperature in them. It is very warm conditions. So it is. Yeah, running the same Porsche that we ran for Spa. Should hopefully be quite a bit of fun. But yeah, 2 hours, 25 minutes of racing coming up. Can't set to 24 minutes, only increments of 5 minutes for the race time. Ten times time progression. It's very similar to one we ran a little while ago. But yeah, full grade. That will be very interesting to see how this turns out. Only GT3s alongside us in the hypercars. No LMP2s this time. So traffic shouldn't be as difficult. Yeah, with 30 people in the hypercars, 26 in GT3s, that should make for a very interesting race. Still just taking it easy. It's very hot, 22 degrees ambient. 43 degrees track temp. Take it easy through the Porsche curves, so we don't want to spike the tire temperatures before we go for a flying lap. cool down it really before we go full push. Over the chicane then, and launch ourselves into our first flying lap. Down towards, or up towards the Dunlop chicane, through the first corner, then immediately onto the brakes. Get the car in for the first apex, a little deep. Slightly compromised the second part of the Dunlop chicane. So now make our way into the S's. Get the car in quite nicely. Now towards Tetra Rouge. Very important corner, very easy to go over track limits there. Pushing to carry as much speed as you possibly can onto the Mulsanne straight. Now making our way towards first chicane. Not the greatest chicane. You can see the front tire temps already getting above 90 degrees as we go through the chicane. Is bringing in just a little bit of understeer with the car. Second chicane now, hopefully can be a little bit tidier. Too much curb, scrape the plank on it. Now towards Mulsanne corner. Felt like got the braking pretty spot on there. Now heading up to Indianapolis, very sketchy corner in these hypercars. Very easy to get the car unsettled and go for a high-speed spin. Get the car through nicely there on ours now. Careful not to lock the brakes. Get the car turned in. Get the power down on the exit. Now, Porsche curves. You can see the tires overheating. (110 degrees). Too deep into the chicane. Got the first apex of the final part a little too much. 327.1 is our first benchmark. Let's see if we can find any more time on a second lap. No, that's not a good start. 2 lockups into T1. A little bit of a flat spot. Yeah, not been a good start to this lap. Can't doubtful it's gonna get any better. Another they'll lock up into the first chicane. Tires certainly past their best now. current pole sitter on the mediums. Mediums might have been the better choice for qualifying. And Aston has now put themselves up to the top on a set of softs. So roughly matched their time since Tetra Rouge. Might be able to find a little bit of time through the final chicane. Whether it's enough to set a better lap, get any positions, we'll have to wait and see. Find a 10th through Indianapolis. Now Porsche curves once more. A little late with the turn in there. Just by kept it within track limits, but lost 3/10. Find those 3/10 through the final chicane. Yeah, not enough to improve. Currently sitting 13th. Well, I'd say we maybe had half a second in that lap. If we got together, could have put ourselves up top 10, perhaps. Potentially. 321.3, blimey. 2 Astons at the top. Jimmy goes a little bit quicker, gets himself into 10th. So now we wait for the qualifying session to end for people to complete their last lap times. Looking like we'll get 43 lap race. Bang in the mid pack, 27. 28 hypercars qualifying. A couple of cars failing to set a lap. Valk in 340. We were doing like 334. Fell a bit gear them did. Yeah, I don't think fuel saving is gonna help us too much. So it isn't. The question will be, when do we take tyres throughout the race? Still times coming in for qualifying. So yeah, gonna be interesting to see where top speed is. So I think on a GT3. There we go.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Yeah, starting off in the hot track temps. Imagine we'll see most people taking off the soft soon, switching to mediums, if not hard tires. Might have to save a little bit to get 12 laps. Potentially. Potentially. One thing I'm going to do is just put in a little bit more fuel, just in case. Take down the fuel map. Or the motor map. So, 8th row of the on the grid. Gonna be interesting this race. Of course, we were stronger in the race at Spa than we were in qualifying. Hopefully that's the case here again today, but it's not guaranteed. We had the top speed advantage at Spa with our setup choice. We don't necessarily have it here today. I mean, technically, we're running same setup in terms of aero here as we were at Spa. Everyone else probably is able to take some aero off to give themselves a little bit more top speed. So we'll get going. Frame rate's dropping a little bit. I did turn down settings for this race. You can see into the diffuser of the Glick in front. But the IF behind us is on hards. Looks like everyone else that we can see is on mediums. Coming up to the chicanes now, ready to get underway. A little bit of concertina up into the chicane. Get the limiter. There's the green flag signal. Some people with some very poor starts bunching the field up as we head towards one car spinning there on the inside. Get through cleanly. Side by side into Tete Rouge. Creates a little bit of issue for some people. We get through cleanly, tucking into slipstream of the Glick in front. little bit scary how quickly the cars behind all closed up. Didn't get the best of exits out of the first chicane. Big lock up for someone in front. Someone went through the chicane as well. Much closer on the Glick now. Or not the Glick now, this is a Toyota now in front of us. I think it's going to be same again with the slipstream. All bunching up into Mulsanne corner. Toyota got a twitch on the outside curb, but we're up to P9 now. This is the corner I'm most nervous about, Indianapolis. Toyota sticks its nose down the inside. It's going to be side by side towards the Porsche curves. Just going to get ourselves in front. Doing it much better through the final part of the Porsche curves. We get good exit from the chicane though. Acceptable energy usage there. Managed to break a little gap through the first sector. So no slipstream for the Toyota behind. But we don't have any slipstream as well in front of us. Up to P9 from 16th on the grid. 7 places gained. It's been a good start. But I have a little feeling we don't quite have the pace of the cars around us. But the cars, 2 cars in front of us fighting through the first chicane allows us to close in, and we will get slipstream down towards the second chicane. Look at the run we've got here, even with a little distant for the Toyota here. Ooh, Toyota locked the rear brakes and has had a nasty spin into the wall. That gifts us P8 now. Still got the same Glicken house in front of us that we followed off the start. Not close enough for any slipstream though. Looks like there's some fighting behind between Toyota and Alpine. Rear end sliding a little bit through Indianapolis. gets the nerves going. Okay, just turning into, are they not carrying the speed through the final part of the SSR2? It is caught up, they've dropped the Alpine. GT3 spun there out of the S's. Toyota in our slipstream that we've got a little distant to from the Glickenhaus in front. It's just about going to keep us in front here. Toyota nearly ends up in the back of us. I barely made the corner myself. And Alpine's starting to hold the Toyota up again. Becoming a three-way fight now with the Porsche getting involved behind. Oh, is that the Toyota? That is Toyota off into the barrier, into our Norge there. Just pushing their braking zones a little too much. Closed up on the Glickenhaus this lap. Practically equaling our last lap time. Bit of a fight between BMW and Glickenhaus up in front. If they slow each other down a little bit, we could find ourselves in that battle. Alpine has disappeared from behind us. See the moment I just scraped a plank on the floor. BMW is ahead for the Glickenhaus now. Hopefully the Glickenhaus can come back at them a little bit. Appear to be extending the gap to the cars behind a little bit, which is nice, so we are sort of getting into rhythm here. Showing sort of same pace as those around us. Closing up in the braking zone with the concertina effect. On the grace line through Ernarge there. What's going to be a little annoying for us is if the BMW is quicker than the Glickenhaus and just drags them along with the slipstream. Catching tail end of the GT3 field tonight. Well, Ben, the BMW in front is not running a soft tire. They are running a hard tire on the front left, which, as we can see by our own tire wire in the bottom left, does seem to be the most worn tire. So they're looking to take that tire further into the race, hoping it holds up to the temperatures. The track temp was 43 degrees when we started, but with the, yeah, I know it's a little bit awkward being the inverse of F1. A little bit sketchy there with the McLaren, just really awkward timing. Yeah, I mean, we'll maybe see some soft tires come into play with the time progression when we get into the night. I mean, track temp's already dropped 7 degrees and we've not been going that long. Getting towards 7:30 PM in game. little bit scary when you can't see the GT car you're coming up to lap. So I placed my bets on it staying on the right hand side, but then it came over and I couldn't see because of the Glickenhaus just directly in front of us. Looks like some side-by-side action further in front. That might be for P3. Getting onto the inside curb quite nicely there. Still opening the gap up to the cars behind. Really having to balance the throttle there. Trying to balance getting a good run, but not going into the back of a GT or the Glickenhaus. Looks like the Glickenhaus is going to slot in behind us. Be interesting to see if they'll come back at us. Down the Mulsanne, that's a bit of a terrible line. I've kind of dropped the Glickenhaus a bit in that first chicane, dropped out of the slipstream, which is good. Now we can see if we can go chasing after the cars in front. Another Glickenhaus directly in front of us. Gotta be careful of that left-hand side curb and settling the car. Entering the second chicane. By a second back from getting slipstream. Luckily the Glickenhaus has dropped back out of the slipstream from the BMW that passed them. BMW's gone chasing after Ferrari in front. Before I forget, I'm going to turn my headlights on now. Are using a bit more energy than those around us, but with it looking like a 41 lap race at the moment, we don't need to fuel save at all. Porsche looks good around here. It's alright. I wouldn't say it's one of the best cars. There's certainly more other cars with more straight line speed. But yeah, it doesn't seem bad, at least. Side by side entering the chicanes. Glick not close enough behind for the slipstream. We're not really any closer to the Glickenhaus in front. Yeah, top speed about 335 kilometers an hour there. Apparently the Valkyries are getting 340. So not too surprised to see one of them leading the way. Just timing the run. Gained a little bit of time on the Glickenhaus in front. Now where's this Lexus going to go? They're going to come back over to the racing line, thankfully. And we'll just get them before Mulsanne corner. Braked a little bit early, just on the safe side. Having to take a little bit of the inside curb. Didn't want it unsettling the car and locking our front tire. Thankfully the Aston seen us there and left the inside open. That's always a little bit sketchy. You just don't know if the car's going to drift towards the apex or not. Like, has now caught the Ferrari, which has been passed by the BMW. Them two are going to be fighting into the Porsche curves with traffic as well. Looks like the Glick has got the move done on the Ferrari. And the GT3 Ferrari, the hypercar had to wait a little bit. We're going to have to wait here. Didn't quite time to run as well as I would have liked. Ooh, a little twitch off the inside curb there. Thankfully BMW just left us just enough room there. Frame rate is dropping a little bit as we're in the thick of this GT3 traffic. Look at the time loss for the Ferrari. A little bit deep of first apex. "25 minutes into the race, 2 hours to go." It's difficult to decide which way to pass the Ferrari and the S's there. Yeah, now 2-second gap to the car behind Aston Martin. That's the pole sitter, I believe, behind us. Trying to make their way back through the field. Track temp now down to 28 degrees Celsius, 15 degrees lower than where it started. A little bit of a lock up in second chicane. Glick really wide there. Mercedes holding up the Ferrari as well. And now we're starting to join this battle for 5th position. And not too long, we'll be joined by an Aston Martin as well. It'll be a 4-way fight for P5. Ferrari quite early on the brakes there. Closing with the slipstream. BMW kicking up some gravel out of Indianapolis. Here is the Aston Martin already. Aston decided to give us a little bump. Just gonna send in ski, and I'm so surprised they got that stopped. That's in bad line. Deep into the chicane. That's a little bit messy. Now, I'm in two mindsets when it comes to strategy. We're looking at a 41 lap race. We could do 11 lap stints and only fuel up for 11 lap stints. Well, yeah, we'll do 11 lap stints. Could try shortening a couple of stints to 10 laps. Or maybe think about that later, but we'll keep it as 11 lap stints for now. Aston is already past both the Glick and the Ferrari. Wasted no time at all with that. Push is 10.6%. I don't think that's quite right. Highest number I've seen is 8.5, which can certainly work with. That'd be 85% for 10 laps, of course. 94. For 11 laps of that, get the sun in our eyes as we're heading towards Indianapolis. Everything just sort of calming down for the moment. Except the Ferrari is keeping the pressure on the Glickenhaus in front. Runs a little bit wide. Slid round as I turned the car into the final part of the chicane. Very similar lap times between all of us sort of in this little group. From the Glickenhaus in front to the Glickenhaus behind. starting to plunge into the darkness now. Dropped a little bit back from those in front. Starting this lap. Fry's past the Glickenhaus and already pulled a half-second gap. Only going to be a distant two for the Glick. Turned into your light for the right-hander. Starting to catch the tail end of the GT3 field once again. Slide from the Glickenhaus in front. Starting to catch them a little bit, only a second back now. Windscreen is getting quite dirty. Wouldn't mind a tear-off. Shame tear-offs don't exist in this game. Too late there. The lockup was not ideal. Fry got held up by the Lexus a little bit there. It's like Glickenhaus catch up. So we're going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Awkward timing with the McLaren. And then they just sort of held the middle of the road on the exit, which didn't help. Fuel ratio seemed pretty spot on. Glad I put in the extra 0.01. Aston taking a little trip across the gravel. Yeah, I have a feeling some people in front will go a lap longer. I'm not too bothered. We'll not worry about changing tyres yet. So, into the pits. Felt 94%, not take any tyres. "36-second pit stop." Yeah, so that is, we're going to have slightly shorter pit stops throughout the race. Everyone else is probably just going to take one shorter pit stop in their final stop. It does obviously mean we'll have different points when we take new tyres. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Yeah. Pit lane nice and quiet. Not as busy as it was in Spa, not getting turned, which is a nice change. Dropped off the jacks and we're away immediately. Oh, Aston behind is put on a set of soft tyres. That's the pole sitter, we've jumped again. Track down to 20 degrees now. This is the time, this is the temperature for soft tyres. But to put on a set of softs now, you'd be committing to 2 tyre changes. Yes, I do expect that Aston Martin to catch and pass us somewhere on the Mulsanne straight here. Won't be too hard to get those soft tyres up to temperature. Hopefully this earlier pit stop will help with GT3 traffic as well, and will work in our favour in that regard. A little bit wide there. Kim lets us away with it. There's a Isoto with full hard tyres, which I imagine will be quite a struggle if they don't change them this pit stop. Yeah, so not quite able to catch us on the Mulsanne, but should be close enough here. Slipstream, the extra straight line speed, should have us before Indianapolis. It'll actually be closer than I thought we'd be. Here's where they really start to gain. Just gonna let them go. Minimize the time loss. Don't want to waste time fighting. catching traffic here in Porsche curves, not ideal for us. Catching them at the worst point, really. A little bit of a lock up there. Gain frame struggling a little bit. Around the start finish, around the pits. Oh, we have cars on pit exit. That earlier pit stop has allowed us to jump in front of the Glickenhaus and the Ferrari. How long we'll be able to stay in front, I'm not too sure. Glickenhaus is going to have slipstream here. Doesn't seem to have got the best run out of Tête Rouge. They will have been compromised slightly by the Ferrari GT3. A little bit quicker than the Glick through the first chicane. Gives us a little bit more of a gap and will give it a little less slipstream to the Glick. Ferrari's actually getting a little bit closer and will be the one with slipstream now. Doesn't seem like the idea of the traffic working in our favour has happened. BMW running deep in there, compromising us a little bit, but luckily we have enough of a gap behind that we will stay in 7th place, not giving any slipstream out. Also, I would say no tire changes for the Ferrari and Glickenhaus. Otherwise, the gap would be a little bit bigger, a little bit deep, a little bit of a lock up there. Might catch another GT3 here in the Porsche curves. My line was horrible through there, but we got the GT3 at pretty good spots, so we didn't lose any time from them. Yellow flag, the Ferrari has binned it behind. BMW in the pits after 13 laps. Okay, go in 13 laps. Won't see if you pit stop this race. Ooh, looking like it might be a 40 lap race now. This Lexus had a moment through Tête Rouge. will we catch this Lexus in time for the first chicane? Just about. Quite a few GT3 cars in front of us. At least 8. There is a little bit of a flat spot on one of the tires. Might be the front left. That seems to have dropped down a lot more than I remember it doing in tire wear. Yeah, opening the gap up to the Glickenhaus bind, which is a good thing because we will have to pay back the time in the final pit stop. Not an ideal place to catch the fry, just compromised our line through Tete Rouge. Cost us time all the way to the first chicane. Had to go allow the Glickenhaus bind to close up. GT3 there, just making it extra clear which way they were going to go. We're catching the BMW in front slightly. I'm not too worried about it, but hey, if we can, why not? just about enough space there. Always a little sketchy going over the curbs. Half second slower than BMW last lap. Click behind was a little bit quicker than us as well. Too late on the brakes. Giving up. A little over half second for no good reason. Starting to struggle with the front left. Settle down. Oh, 8.54. That's technically a little bit more energy than we should be using. But with traffic and all, we should save a little bit, so I don't think it's that dire. Front left tire is worrying me a little bit, just with how worn it is. I'm not worried it's gonna sort of run out, I'm just worried at the lack of grip it may give. Especially through these Porsche curves. That's green. A little bit surprised by that. Well, after that early mistake, that actually wasn't a bad lap. Half second quicker than BMW in front. Quicker than the Glickenhaus behind as well. could just tell that Fry did not have confidence. They cost us a bit of time. There's the Fry coming back. So obviously whatever issue they did have hasn't cost them too much in the long term. Fry was a little better behaved that time. Nice to see. Gap's just ebbing and flowing between us, the BMW and the Glickenhaus. Back to a 41 lap race. Never too far away from a crash at this circuit. BMW extends the gap a little bit. We still extend the gap on the Glickenhaus behind. That's a little bit awkward with the Porsche coming out of the pits. Three laps in a row we've lost time at the first chicane. First time was our own fault, our own mistake. The second time was a slow GT3 Fry. That'll be first track limits. Oh no, that's dead green. Wow, surprising. And yeah, third time Porsche coming out of the pits. Starting to catch a tail end for the GT3 pack again. front right, locking up on some of the bumps. Just continuing to slowly increase the gap to the Glickenhaus behind, keeping ourselves within range of the BMW in front. BMW again held up a bit there by the Mercedes. We were just gonna sneak up the inside of, that's a little cheeky. GT3 in the Porsche curves now. BMW's caught it at a bad point. That allows us to close in on the BMW. Front right lockup, not ideal. Didn't lose us any time there, but long term, I mean, 4 laps to go in the stint, still not ideal. BMW invalidating that last lap time. We'll just get to the inside of the Mustang. That's a very 50-50 move. We were just close enough. Might be able to undercut the BMW in front this stint. Yeah, Friday in P8 isn't out of this battle. If they have the pace, they can close back up and put themselves in it. Their energy usage being a bit below 8.5 again. So not getting worried about that one lap that was a little bit over. BMW slides wide through Indianapolis. I did a little lock up on the front left again. BMW compromised by Lexus into the chicane. We're going to be held up a little bit in the middle of the chicane. Have our exit slightly compromised. 3 laps until we pit. Actually made the apex there. Look at that. Up on our delta, not half a second down for the first time in 4 laps, or 5 laps even. You know, that's 2 seconds we could have had. Good line through the chicane that time. Didn't bounce the plank off the curb. Got the tyre nice and neatly onto the curb. Nearly in range for slipstream from the BMW. Doesn't really matter with part of the track that we're coming up to. Real thing is, I just don't want to lose time fighting the BMW, because then the Glick and the Ferrari behind will just close up, and I'd rather them not. It's always moments like those where you feel like the GT3 isn't going as fast as it can, and it's just holding you up a little bit. Probably isn't doing anything wrong, you know, is going as fast as it can, especially as it's being passed by the BMW, but you're just there like, oh, I could go so much faster. That's a bad line. Oh, that lockup's costly. I could do there, just horrible timing. That's multi-class. Can see Fry has closed up nearly 2 seconds in the last few laps. That's why I said they're not out of this fight. They have the pace to drag themselves back in. GT3. This could be another awkward timing situation. Maybe for the BMW, but not quite for us. Traffic in front. BMW getting held up by the Ferrari 3 for chicane. And now there's that BMW through the S's. But we get a run through Tetra Rouge compromised. Remember, we're pitting at the end of this lap. Putting a new set of soft tires on. Evening, Kiki. You join us just into the second half of the race. Qualified 16th, currently running 6th, up 10 places, but we are running a slightly different strategy to those around us. Whether it'll work out in our favour, we'll have to wait to the end of the race to find out. Up to 5:30 a.m. local time, or server time. Be starting to warm up a little bit. That's a little bit awkward. So into the pits at the end for this lap, we'll be taking a new set of tyres to go to the end of the race. was almost awkward timing. Into the pits we go. New mediums, 94% as we did for this stint. We have a percent to spare, which is good. We'll leave that in. In we go. 13-second tire change. Then, what, 37 seconds on the virtual RNG this time. Again, nice and quiet pit lane, which is what we wanted. Although we will have that GTE traffic that we've just passed in front of us. That could hurt us. "19 laps left in the race, apparently." Car goes up for the tires. "50.5 seconds, so a little bit on the longer side. Although last time we had 35.5 seconds for a 36-second pit stop, so it balances out, you could say. Cool tires though as we come out of the pits. Looks like we've got a clear bit of track though, as the sun's starting to rise. Though track temp only 15 degrees means it's going to be a bit difficult to get these tires up to temperature. The main battle group that we're in, we're the only one to pit. You can see quite a few people have gone for soft tires at this end of the field. We'll see some pit stops end of this lap, some more end of the lap after. Or actually, I think most of the pit stops, sorry, will be end of the lap after. It'll be interesting to see if those drivers on soft tires come off the soft tires now or go in next another stint. This is awkward timing. Thank you for moving over. A little bit of time lost there, but nothing we can do about it. Car a little more direct in the Porsche curves. Sliding around as much. Lexus has had issues in the GT3 field at the Porsche curves. Looks like people in front of us are pitting now. some GT3s, one hypercar. Nice sun rising right into our faces, into Dunlop chicane. Hopefully can pass as much of this GT3 traffic in front on the straights to not lose any time. I think it's going to start with this Porsche just being right at the worst. Oh, we just got there in time. I was really doubtful if we would. But we just about did. Only about halfway through this pack of cars. BMW signifying it's going to stay left. That little gesture, much appreciated. Someone has had issues here. Just one more car to go. It looks like it's going to be the most awkward car of the bunch. It's the McLaren. Oh, that's a interesting racing line into here. Oh, that cost us quite a bit of time. That McLaren just not as experienced, not as confident. Makes it a little more difficult in those situations. There we go, everyone will be coming down to pit exit now. We are out in front and we will pull a gap as they struggle on their cool tires. But Fry has closed up enough to start fighting the Glick. And they could slow each other down as they try and get their tires up to temperature. The BMW still yet to pit. They'll be pitting end of this lap. Still looking like a 41 lap race, which means that in our next pit stop we'll only need to fuel up to 8 laps worth of energy rather than 11. Ferrari past and clear of the Glick. I can see just how that gap's extended. That gap, not necessarily because of a good in-lap, out-lap from the undercut, that is from a shorter pit stop. We will have to give that time up at the final pit stop. A little bit of locking in turnage. This might be awkward with the mark. Yeah, bad time. Leading GT3 car at the moment. But yeah, that cost us what? Second and a half. Yeah, nothing we can do. That's just multi-class. BMW is in the pits. There they are in front of us. They can see them struggling on cool tires. Was hoping I'd come out. I guess that was to be about expected. Our last stint, 8 laps, 10 laps is 85 litres, 8.5 times 2 is 17, 85 minus 17 is 68 litres, or percent. Races more comfortably into a 41 lap race. Maybe going towards a 42 lap race. Still a couple of minutes away from that. But with a pit stop still left to go, can't get too confident on that. Glick is falling behind the Toyota now as well. New fastest lap of the race from the leader at the moment. Track hasn't warmed up much yet, only 18 degrees. More GT3 traffic here. And the Porsche carbs. I think that was the least amount of time we could lose for that scenario. There's some hypercar drivers that would have dive bombed that Lexus. I am not one of them. Yes, unfortunately nearly a couple of seconds lost there just from traffic. The BMW closes up on us. Nothing we could do. Just multi-class racing. Cut. Came aligned up. Didn't really gain time on our Delta either. You can see in the mirror all the sparks as we just scrape the floor across the ground. Oh, that got the heart going. Pulled out in that GT3 just as they pulled out on another GT3 they were fighting for position. Oh, if they left it any later than that, that would have been a crash. I'm telling you. That was risky enough as it was. A little bit of rear locking into Mulsanne corner. Will we get the Aston for Indianapolis? Yeah, we will. Will we? Just about. Just about. Looks like the Ferrari and Toyota are gonna start fighting. Toyota gang in front for now, but if they fight and slow each other down, that'll be good news for us. Just about got the McLaren there. Welcome, Dave. You join us 2/3 of the way through the race. Currently running P6. We qualified P16, so up 10 places, but we're on a slightly alternate strategy than those around us. We've gone slightly shorter on the pit stops, which has helped us get up the order a little bit. We'll have to give that time up at our final and next pit stop. Sun making it difficult to see the apex there. Oh, DT for the Ferrari. Never expect me to be on the same strategy as everyone else. Yeah, it is. It is quite rare that I follow the sort of the normals, the expected. seen the click there behind us for a moment, but they've been passed by the Aston Martin. Still has a set of soft tyres on. Wonder if they're the same softs as last stint, or if they're new softs. That'd be a good question. Yeah, where everyone else has been filling up their fuel and their energy and going 12, if not 13 laps if they save enough energy each stint. I've only been going up to 94% energy, keeping the car a little bit lighter, going flat out and only doing 11 laps a stint. So our final stint will be 8 laps. Others will only be going 5 laps. So that's where they're going to gain time, a shorter pit stop for the final stint. These two leg size still right next to each other. I'm getting a bit of deja vu, to be honest. Pretty sure we had found ourselves in this exact same scenario a few laps ago. Getting past one of them, but not having to follow the second through an arch. Porsche Car's wonderful section of track. Quite a bit GT3 traffic in front. As we set a new personal best here into the 28s. Time lost, thankfully. Could be time lost for the BMW behind, though. Better run through Tetra Rouge there. I got the apex right. Ah, we're coming up to another Tilapa hypercar in front. Yeah, I can see the gap opened up by about a second there to the BMW. Got a few more GT3s not too far in front. It's the top 4 of the class, as well as some lap cars a little further ahead. Three and a half tenths up on our delta from last lap, which is good. Finding a little bit of time in the braking for Mulsanne corner. second up now. We didn't lose time to the Lexus. We're going to catch some other GT3 cars in the Porsche curves. We also have, of course, this Porsche that we're going to be lapping in front. Will give us a bit of room, will ya? Wasn't ideal, that. Oh well. I mean, that lost us about 2 seconds. That'll be our first track limit warning. That's just gonna be wrong time. Give up a bit of time there, not realizing it. If I realized and lifted sooner, I could have carried a little bit more speed through the corner and have not lost as much time. Toyota's closing on us, only 4 seconds back now. With the time they'll gain in the pit stop, I'm not sure we're keeping them behind us. We're also up to P5 now that the Alpine has pitted. I'm not sure if we were close enough to them to take advantage of their longer pit stop that they'll have. You know, they'll need to have filled the tank and be doing some fuel saving to make it to the end. You know, we're putting 30% less energy in. It'll close us up. But I'm not sure if it will get us the position. I feel like the BMW behind us is going to jump in front of us as well as the Toyota. So I think we'll fall down to P8 potentially. Still not a bad result, having started 16th. Next GT3 is the class leader. Looks like we're going to catch them just in the Porsche curves, annoyingly. We'll just catch them on the exit. Minimal time lost, not too bad. Can we get any personal bests? We need a good run through the chicanes. Which we get. Another 10th shaved off. Hey Jacob, race is going very well, thank you. look at the time we lost last lap from the, was it BMW or Lexus? Can't remember now. 9 tenths up. Like, we've opened the gap up to the cars behind, and they're starting to fight each other. Keeps things interesting. Would be nice if we could carry this 9 tenths on the Delta to the end of the lap, get a new personal best. Toyota is now in front of the BMW and will now proceed to chase us down. I wonder if they'll catch us before we have to make our final pit stop. We'll find some more time at second chicane. BMW obviously on controller there, not making it the clearest which way they were going to hold. Ten seconds up to the next GT3. Could catch them in the Porsche curves. Could have been worse. Still 1.3 seconds up, surprisingly. Not the best. Chicanes lost a couple of tenths, but not too worried. Into 27ths. I think they'll be the last of our personal best attempts. Aston running out wide there. Gap all right down to 4.2 seconds. Yeah, the Toyota matched our time last lap. Well, was a fraction quicker. And I have a feeling that Toyota can go much quicker than that. Yeah, Dennis Lind in that Toyota. Real life driver, in fact. He was actually sharing a story on one of Stephen Bailey's streams. I can't remember how I got onto the topic of conversation, but talking sort of like guilt about when you're in a team race and you're the one that crashes the car. And I think he has a story if he was leading the 24 Hours of Spa, the GT World Challenge, and Intercontinental GT Challenge race. He was leading it in a Lambo and then had a moment up through a Rouge and Radi on Binda, and that's race over from the lead. Isn't closing up on us too quickly now. But Porsche curves, this is part where quick people can just take time out of you. Maybe another personal best, since we didn't have traffic. Nearly 4/10 up. 27.3. 25.5 from the Toyota. Straddle the curb in the braking zone. Cut the corner slightly, but game not telling us off for it. I can see left a good 4/10 on the table through the first sector. So we are going to stay in front of the Toyota before we make our pit stop. Yeah, I'm still happy with that. A bit of understeer there. Carried a little bit too much speed into the left-hander. Yeah, we should stay in front of the Toyota for this lap to then for stint when we pit, but we will not be in front of them afterwards. Yeah, Beamer is falling back. They're behind the Aston now, 10-second gap. We might actually be able to stay in front of them. The Aston is on the sort of same strategy as us, so it's just a flat-out race between us to the end. Oh, this is interesting. Likelihood of it going to 42 laps, very unlikely at the moment. Two leading Aston Martin's pit. And no race is going as long as I thought it did, thank you. A bit of a less experienced McLaren always leaves you with a little bit of uncertainty on where they're going to place their car. That wasn't too bad. There might be our second track in the morning. Will be indeed. Yep, happy with the pit details. I could have been a little more aggressive into the pits. %, no change. Yeah. turn the motor map up so we can get the acceleration off. 27-second pit stop, so about 10 seconds shorter than our previous ones. Taking on 26% less energy, so yeah, about 10%. Or a quarter tank difference. Try 7.4. Right, we should get out in front of most of the GT3 traffic that's sort of approaching. There's one car that's gone past, but other than that, mostly clean air. Have a Cadillac behind us. It's just done their personal best lap of the race. .28.8. Oh, there is Jimmy. Jimmy's already made his last pit stop and put on a set of soft tires. I'm not sure that was a good idea, Jimmy. Gotta be honest with you. Temperature's rising. It's up to 31 degrees Celsius now. That's up 16 degrees from where it was in the middle of the night. Yeah, not sure those soft tires are going to do you any good to the end, and it's now 30 seconds back. Remember, in sort of the halfway mark of the race, we were concerned about Jimmy sort of being on pace with us and being in our fight. But then he's just dropped back. Caddy did a spin into T1. It's easily done, to be fair. I mean, that's why I'm lifting into T1, because I'm just not confident. I missed that braking point. What I did there was I accidentally lifted, thinking, oh, lift and coast, instead of the just hit the brakes. I've been doing this race. A little bit annoying when I have this caddy right behind me, because I'm just going to hold them up, or they're going to hold us up. They're not going to hold us up. Very kindly. Yeah, I don't know how much time that mistake cost me. Maybe about a second. Not ideal. Put a little lock up on the front right as well. It's not too bad. Yeah, not ideal. Yep, Tomlinson is in it. Not having the greatest of races. Of course, now the car heavier with fuel again. A little bit wide there. Don't lock the front left. Been driving a bit messy since that pit stop. Got focused down. Still a couple more laps before the others pit. Heavy car's never fun on old tires. No, it isn't. At least these have only gone through one stint. Wouldn't be fun trying to triple stint a set of these tyres. You'd have to be really gentle on the front left. .330.9 is actually a good benchmark for what lap time we did last lap when you discount the pit lane. That's one handy thing by having the caddy right behind us. Triple stint right here is impossible. I think it would be, but you would need a hard front left tire at least. You know, like, you know, we've done one stint and not clean. Yeah, you'd only really do it if you're limited on tires. It's certainly not a quick way to go. I mean, ideally, in one regard, you'd want cooled conditions to do a triple stint. Obviously, a cooler track, you don't heat the tyres up as much, and so the tyres last a little bit longer. But if you're running a hard front left, you kind of want the temperature to keep that hard left in its operating window. You don't want it to be too cooled, otherwise the tyre won't really work. And you'll just bleed time in another way. Toyota has pitted, expecting the Toyota to come out in front of us. Actually, in a way, hoping the Toyota comes out in front of us, as it means we won't lose time fighting them. Yeah, they're already a pit exit. 29.2. Had to wait there a little moment for the front left to grip up enough to get to the inside of the Ferrari there. Oh, we are in front of that Alpine now. I would imagine they've put on a fresh set of softs. They're fighting the Aston Martin, actually. That's going to help us. That is going to help us. $10 to 15% on the front left wouldn't be fun. No, it wouldn't. The one thing with triple stinting is you really would have to avoid lockups. You cannot afford to give up extra tyre wear to lockups. The Alpine's top end being will help me too, yeah. Yeah, it will. I know you struggled with that, Jacob. Around here. No, in fairness, if that Alpine is on new soft tyres, they're going to have grip. So yeah, they might be able to out-handle us and get a move done in a corner. But being 15 seconds back and having an Aston Martin to worry about. Lock there. Should be able to get both of these GT3s before the Porsche curves. You're just really hard on your tyres in general. I mean, it can be hard to set times. I suppose you've done some team races, so you've been able to directly compare it to teammates. Having not done any myself, there's always been a factor of setups and different cars. Click is in the pits, and we will get in front of them. Wonder again, are they putting on a fresh set of softs? Lockups are your issue, Jacob. Yeah, they're a little bit of my issue too. I'm not horrible with lockups, but I do have a little tendency just to have the odd lockup. I mean, it was a lockup that cost me in the Spa race a few weeks ago. Fighting with Bailey, I had a lockup into the Piff Paff chicane, and that's what allowed Bailey to get to my inside. It depends on what your old tyres were on. If you had flat spotted them, you know, overall it might not be ideal to take new tyres now, but it really depends on your own situation. Oh, I had a little slide on the left curb there. So we can see the BMW, they'll probably go for one more lap and then they'll make a splash and dash. They're 47 seconds in front. I'm not too sure. It depends how much fuel they put in. Oh, I just noticed 41.8. Well, that's like 30 seconds away from going to another lap. The good news is that Aston in the lead doesn't have much more energy than we do. So if they were planning on making this a 42 lap race, they'd have to save quite a bit of energy. So I don't think they're going to make it 42 laps. They'll come out ahead, given the glick stop behind. Potentially. That's a bad line. Too much curb. you'll have to do one of these races. Well, these races aren't regular. The one thing with the SROL community is they rarely host regular events or sort of a series of events. It's usually all one-offs. So we're following a mantra of, instead of having a large quantity of events that they run, it's more of a smaller selection of events, but of a high quality. You know, every race I've done with SROL has been good fun in one way or another. But yeah, they do just kind of pop up at irregular times. Welcome, Marty. Join us into the final 10 minutes of the race. We're waiting to see if we'll get P6 from the BMW that is about to pit in front of us. Yeah, our pace isn't too far off of Lynn's. We were only what, 3.5 tenths slower last lap. He did put in a little bit more fuel than I did. Welcome, Iris. I will say that BMW's pulled a little bit of time. In this sort of pit stop sequence. Yeah, there it comes in now. It will only need to put in 3 laps of fuel. Three laps is probably about a quarter tank for it. It is a quarter tank. So it's probably going to be 10 seconds stopped on their pit box. The question is, how long does it take to transit pit lane? They've gone 30%, which will be closer to 12 seconds. But they'll be on their way towards pit exit. They have reached pit exit already. I think that answers that question. They're actually going to be in a bit of a fight with the Toyota. So they are. Just bad timing with the BMW there. Yeah, 10 seconds up the road. Wasn't even close. I had a good feeling of that. But look, so it looks like it's going to be P7 there. Of course, there's still the opportunity of a mistake, an incident with the GT3 from someone up ahead. But I would say that is unlikely, given how far into the race we are. Yeah, P7 certainly is a good result, having qualified P16, which I was a little bit disappointed by in qualifying. I knew I had more time in the lap. It was a scruffy lap. I think I could have got P11, P12 in quali. Yeah, we're still a few positions up on that. Kept it clean, no big mistakes throughout the race. Of course, still 2.5 laps to go. That's not how you slow down from Ulsan behind a GT3 car. So yeah, it's just easy. Bring the car home at this point. Don't make any mistakes. Take P7. Got to fight behind. The Aston Martin Glickenhaus are going to be fighting each other over 8th position. So everyone around us is in a fight, in a battle, but not us. Regarding the strategy, of course, we did something a little bit different. I think it was a good strategy. Do I think it was necessarily better than what the others ran? No. I think they're very equal. It very much is taking two different paths to get to the same destination, and both paths take the same amount of time. That's what it feels like. I think the good part of our strategy was it got us in front of the Ferrari and the Glickenhaus Jimmy earlier for the third stint. So it is right on the back of the BMW now. The Aston right on the back of the Glickenhaus. So it is past the BMW. Aston and Glickenhaus fighting side by side towards the first chicane. Not even that many GT3 cars in front of us to be lapping. Oh, the BMW's got back in front of the Toyota. Don't know if Lind made a mistake or something. But we've also closed up a few seconds to the pair of them. .4, 8.15. We've got about 0.2 litres to spare. And I'm going to turn the hybrid up a little bit on this lap. Just to be extra sure. End of the day, any extra fuel at the end of the race is wasted time in pit lane and unnecessary weight on the car. A little bit of GT3 traffic. We'll get them on the exit. Been a good opening sector. Ooh. BMW's limping. BMW has an issue. Damage of sorts. That's gifted us P6. We are still a 10th up on our Delta. BMW does typical BMW things. Yeah, I don't think we'll have the tires anymore to do to take any personal best. That Ferrari was slower than I expected through Indianapolis. Worried me a little bit. Well, and final lockup, I guess. Turn the motor map up a little bit just to make sure we're safe on fuel. Gets to the end. It's always good to be fuel limited rather than virtual energy limited. As if you run out of fuel, there's no penalty. The car just doesn't accelerate anymore. Run out of virtual energy? Oh, that's a big 100-second stop-go penalty. There's a short on my channel that would showcase why that can be the difference in position. Fun drag race up to the line. That one was. Anyway, we come into the chicanes for the final time. And it's going to be P6 then with the BMW's issues. Yeah, look like that. 0.3 on the line. Let's say exactly. 0.73 virtual energy. 0.3 exactly on the field. Lockups now don't count. Yeah, they don't count anymore. But yeah, good fun race. Glad I did that. Good result. Great result, yeah. Happy with that. Where did Jimmy? 11th in the end. How far back? 36 seconds back from us. And we were fighting halfway through the race. Oh. Upshift stopped working on the final lap. Yeah, fun race. Fun race indeed. while we have a little bit of time, let's go back to the start. Um, if it loads. Stream seems to not be having fun. Everything looks fine on my end. Sometimes there is the odd issue, but seems fine. Alright, here we go. Start of the race. Stream keeps going great. That's a fault on YouTube's, and then everything looks fine on OBS to me. Here is T1. Oh, the Aston clipped the inside of the glick in front. That's what spun them around. Then, assume the standings are from live and not the replay. Here we are towards the chicane. It's gonna run out before that. Oh well. That was a fun race indeed. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's about 10 o'clock. Oh, 22:10. If I realised I could have done a daily race, could have snuck in on the last second. What's the sequence? Oh, and it would have been the GT3 one. Oh, that would have been fun. Oh well. Oh, hey Dan. You were going to give me a bump draft, buzz too fast out of each corner for you to catch up. Yeah. But good. Made that decision easy. Yeah, I was a little bit worried there. Because I think the caddy is a little bit faster in a straight line. What was your top speed without any without slipstream? Ugh. Because I've heard the caddy is a little bit better than the Porsche. So I'm just curious what the speed comparison is between the two. There into the first chicane. But as a monster in a straight, yeah. Though Le Mans can be a little bit different because you're a little more aero limited rather than acceleration limited. A lot of other circuits you don't get to the proper top end. You only get, whereas Le Mans, the straights are that much longer. It's like, oh yeah, it really is the top speed of the car that you get to. Can't remember. Had front end damage for the second half of the race. I didn't notice the front of your car wasn't looking too healthy, even at Le Mans. Yeah, not quick enough though to pass a Porsche. Um, yeah, go run the daily event here in Ardor Valley, something I normally do at the end of streams. We ran it on Wednesday. We got 19th, top 5%. That was a good run. Also ran it on Monday, wasn't as good on Monday. Only 47th, top 15%. In a 24-hour race at Sailed Bastion, Ferrari. Ooh. I mean, there is always setup a little bit. Of course, like the Mon is probably the least setup dependent, is everyone's probably going to be running min wing most likely. But somewhere like Spa, we've seen in the 100 race not too long ago that, I running minimum wing meant that Bailey and the Glickenhaus, Jimmy, they didn't stand a chance, when they really struggled to get past me. But yeah. Here we are, Japan Group B car. I think 6.6 kilometer tarmac stage in a Peugeot, was it 206 T16, if I remember correctly. A little two-wheel movement there from a bump. That's a little bit of a sneaky corner. Seems like quite a technical stage, this. Getting the rear end out of the hairpin. Great result. You've got to go for work. Well, thanks for popping in, Dave. Hope you enjoyed the latter half, our part of the race. And I will probably see you on Monday. Pleasure as always. Great to hear. Hope work doesn't go. Hope work goes well for you. Hope it's not a bad day at work. And yes, as I said, I'll see you on Monday. It's been a good stage in the Peugeot so far. Can't use the throttle to really rotate the car. Just having to trust that, yeah, when I plant the throttle, the car's going to rotate and not understeer out into the outside wall. Gotta be careful of the little crests through this long left-hander. Gotta be careful of the left-hander tightening up there. Final corner now. Don't hit the outside wall. 251.1. That felt like a good run. 15th, top 5%. That is good going. Don't think I could have done much better than that. Very close in this, what, plus 7 second range. 50, 51 second range. Very close. So yeah, just little small details making the difference there. You've got to go, Jacob, do some new wheel testing. Enjoy your new wheel. I did see that. Hope you enjoy it. Getting on a direct drive is really nice, being able to feel the detail, especially in the curbs. It's the curbs where I noticed it most. But yeah, enjoy your new wheel. Thanks for popping along. Hope you enjoyed the race as well. I'm going to be wrapping up here anyway, now that we've finished off that Art of Rally. But yeah, great race at Le Mans. Very last minute was when they said, right, hey, would there be interest in doing this today? And yeah, there certainly was enough interest. There was a little bit of a worry of opening up if there'd be sort of some messy drivers, some random people and random public lobby standards creeping in, but no, everything we seen, maybe a couple of GT3s, but they weren't doing anything wrong or anything bad. They just didn't have the confidence and they were inexperienced. So yeah, that is going to be one of the cleanest races I've seen. Really impressed. And yeah, it was good fun, good battles. Not a lot of sort of side-by-side fighting, but a lot of, who's going to finish in front, the strategy coming into play. That's what you want from a race on LMU, and it was some great fun. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, I look forward to whatever comes next from SROL, because I know it's going to be another great race indeed. Next time, I'll be back on Monday evening. We'll be joining the last 2 rounds over the next 2 Mondays of GT3 series. It's running 2 times fuel usage. for a 65-minute race. We're going to be at Fuji. Going to be in mixed conditions, some rain, some dry spells. Going to make that very interesting on strategy. Um, so yeah, GT3 MPG. The joke being 3 MPG with the higher fuel usage. Should be a fun race. It seems like it's been a fun season so far, so I look forward to joining that for a couple of rounds. And we'll be in the Mercedes trying out the new car. Hopefully that runs well at Fuji on Monday coming up, and back here at Le Mans the week after. So yeah, looking forward to that. Then on Wednesday again, we'll maybe run a daily race too at the end of that as well. We'll run a daily race if we can get a step closer to silver safety ranking. We'll be running a couple more daily races on Wednesday as well after our Wednesday series. 45 minutes, 2 times fuel usage and tyre wear. This week it is going to be at, or next week I should say, it'll be at Spa. So we'll have to see how that goes in the Aston Martin. That will Spa will be a track. Fuel saving will certainly help out in strategy. See if we can continue our podium streak there. That will be good if we can do so. And then on next Friday, we'll hopefully be back. Well, it's a real maybe here, a real 50-50. We'll have to see how plans go in helping out with a local rally on Friday, but might be doing the MX5 sprints again. Next week, if we do it next week, the sprints will be at Brands Hatch. Brands usually makes for some good racing, nice wee short circuit. So yeah, MX5's around there. Unfortunately, did have to miss out on Sepang for doing this race today. It would have been nice to race Sepang. It's been a while since I've raced it, but yeah, it was totally worth it. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, hopefully we can get back into that next week, but it is a bit 50-50 with schedule on the rally. So yeah, that's sort of plans for the next week. If you missed it, if you enjoyed the Art of Rally run there at the end, I put out a video yesterday of some of the best runs I've had over the last few months. So you can go enjoy that, enjoy a little bit more Art of Rally in the meantime. And as well, if you've been missing some of the more recent streams over the last couple of weeks, there's some shorts going out, sort of coming into the weekend. Some moments I had. One of the first daily race I did, something really unexpected happened. No, it was not the crashing that you expect from public lobbies. It's something a little bit different that was disappointing, it has to be said, but yeah, very unexpected. As well, some great highlights, some final lap, final corner overtakes that were very exciting. One of them for the win. If you missed last week's MX5 sprint races, so yeah, plenty. Some other content if you've been missing out on streams recently. If you want to enjoy, I'd always appreciate if you give those a little watch if you didn't see them. And hopefully you enjoy them. But yeah, that said, I'm going to head off for the weekend. Thank you all. It's great to see so many people popping in for a bit. Thank you, Ben, earlier. Thank you, Geeky. Thank you, Dave and Jacob, Artie, Iris popping in a little bit, and Dan as well at the end. After we had a little meeting on track that was luckily clean. If it did get a little close with my little lockup. But yeah, great to see you all in chat. Hope you all enjoyed the race. And yeah, hopefully I'll see some of you all, if not most of you, next week again at some point. But yeah, till next time, all have a great weekend. Yeah, hope it's all amazing. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday, if not, maybe Wednesday. But yeah, until next time, take care all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.